with New York Giants legend and South Carolina Hall of Famer Corey Miller and his son, four-time SEC champion and two-time national champion Christian Miller.
And knocked down again. It was Christian Miller.
Here is college football playoff national champion Christian Miller on Tide 100.9 and 12:30 a.m. WTBC.
And welcome into this free-for-all Friday edition of the Miller's Edge, Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC, presented by the Good Feet Store, America's Art Sport Experts. Not only is it a free-for-all Friday, but it also is a prediction Friday, meaning we will take y'all's predictions here on the show. And if you get it right, you guys know how that goes. You get a prize, right? You get definitely get a signed football. I have some merch stuff I'll throw in there too. So make sure you guys do that. Still haven't had anybody get lucky enough to get that score prediction right. So you could be the first. We'll have to see. I feel like, Reed, these kind of games are a little bit more difficult, though, because it's like you expect a blowout, but it's a little bit, I don't know, more of a challenge, I feel like, to get like the score right, because you don't know. I mean, we could put up 60. We could end up putting 45 if we're a little more reserved, just trying to run the clock out. They could sneak a field goal. They might not get anything. You would expect them not to, but you never know. These games, I feel like, a little bit. So would you agree, like, some of these cupcake games are harder to predict scores versus maybe, I don't know, it's a conference game?
Oh, 1000%, Christian. I mean, when you think about it, right, kind of like what you were saying, you really don't know how they're trying to go into this. Like, I mean, I personally think that we might try to figure out our run game a little bit and get some more younger guys some playing time. And if that means we only win 45-3, then we win 45-3. But if, I don't know, DeBoer is wanting to just ignite this team going into the Iron Bowl and wants to put up 70, then I guess we'll put up 70, you know. But, yeah, it's 100% going to be this week will be very hard for someone to get it correct. And if they do, applause to them, you know.
100%. Yeah, maybe we'll even throw in an extra prize or something if they do get it right, because it is a little bit of a challenge, in my opinion, like you just said. Speaking of Coach DeBoer, we do need to bring him up. And, listen, I hate to be that guy to even talk about rumors, especially when it's really early. There's not really much of a base. But we would probably be fools not to at least bring it up, because I know that's probably, especially this week, it's a cupcake game. That's probably the biggest topic right now. I was just telling you before, I had not heard anything about this until I saw on Twitter. There's some people that were upset, and they were talking about, I guess Ryan had a journalist come on and talk about Coach DeBoer being a target for Penn State. So we'll probably dive into that conversation a little bit. I'm just going to go ahead and preface by saying this before you guys get ticked off. It's not happening. In my eyes, I do not see that happen. I don't see that happening at all. But we'll talk about it just because it's something to talk about on a slow week where we've got a cupcake game. But he's not the only one involved in these coaching rumors. And we've talked a little bit about Lane and some of these other openings. James Franklin ended up, I almost said committed, Reed. What am I talking about? He ended up signing to be the next head coach at Virginia Tech. So that one is off the table, but a number of them still available. Pretty much all the other ones still available. So we'll keep monitoring those. But another guy on this roster that's not named Kalen DeBoer is coming up in some rumors as well. We'll talk about that. And it's that time of year, right, Reed? I mean, once the regular season starts winding down, I know we had some early firings, but once the regular season starts winding down, this is the time where you start seeing a lot of these headlines come up, because teams are trying to get a move on it. They know that even though a lot of these schools and football teams have, playoff hopes and, a lot still on the line, it's kind of like, I don't know, I feel like they're trying to get a jump on it, right? So you're going to start hearing more news heat up, and don't be shocked if you hear other things come out. But just remember, especially this early, a lot of it, man, there's not going to be much truth to it. It's normally just rumblings. Sometimes I wouldn't even be shocked if it's as far as an agent or a representative putting things out. Don't get it twisted. These people do stuff like this because, Reed, what's the new wave now, right? It's not just like leaving one job for another. The new thing is literally, okay, have your name in the media like you could potentially leave, and then that client ends up getting a raise. I'm not saying the coaches necessarily do that, but don't be mistaken. I guarantee you these agents, they think like that, because anytime their coaching client gets a pay raise, guess who also is getting paid, Reed? The agent. So just know, I feel like the agents are really enjoying this climate with all these firings and these hirings, because not only is that happening, but a lot of raises are happening as well. Rework deals, all that stuff. So, I guess we're approaching that season. So we'll talk about that a little bit here, but we will talk a little bit about Eastern Illinois. We'll kind of do it briefly like we did yesterday, but I do want to get y'all score predictions. You can always do that via the phone lines 205-342-9904. You can also drop it here on the stream on YouTube. We stream every day that we do the show 11 to 1 right here on our channel at the Miller's Edge. You can also download that Tide 100.9 app, which I recommend you guys do because you can listen to all the shows wherever you're at, no matter the time, too. You can always go back and listen to them there. Plus, they always get uploaded on whatever podcast platform you use as well. But you can use that app to leave an app message and drop your score predictions there. Me and Reed will keep up with them, and hopefully we get a winner this week. We'll see. I think it's going to be a little bit more difficult, but we'll have to see. And I guess we'll find that out not too far into tomorrow because we got an early game tomorrow, 11 a.m. kick, bright and early, Reed, and hopefully the weather's a little bit better. I haven't looked at it. A little bit rainy and overcasty today, but hopefully it's a little bit better for tomorrow. Real quick, speaking of the game tomorrow, don't forget Good Feet Kick for Challenge. If you guys want an opportunity to win some free cash, go sign up right now, goodfeetkickforcash.com. It's completely free. All it takes is your name and your email, and you get entered in that contest. If you get selected, you get a chance to go kick some field goals. If you make them, you walk away with free cash. If you miss them, you still walk away with a free gift bag from the Good Feet store. So make sure you guys sign up and check that out as well. And don't forget about the Good Feet store and their arch supports that are designed to eliminate and alleviate all types of pain, whether it's foot pain, knee pain, back pain, you name it, they'll take care of it. If you're like me, always active, always on your feet, or you just deal with that nagging pain, like I definitely did from playing football all these years, you definitely want to try these out. Try before you buy, nothing to lose. Midtown Village is where you can find them here in Tuscaloosa. Plus, you can always find the nearest location near. They are nationwide right there on their website, goodfeet.com. Again, that is the Good Feet store, improving the quality of people's lives 2 feet at a time, just like we like to do with you guys, 2 hours at a time. That said, we got to hit our first time out when we come back. We'll get rolling on this Free-for-All Friday, Prediction Friday, right here on the Miller's Edge. Presented by the Good Feet store, America's art sport experts. Tide 100.9. Quick timeout. We'll be right back.
If you're looking for a great place to watch the Bama football game, head to Grandstand in Emerson Square. They have a spacious layout with multiple premium flat-screen TVs to watch the game on, pool tables, and dartboards. The restaurant has a variety of American-style food, including bites, burgers, pizzas, and wings. Grandstand
You're
is
right,
also
Reed, my bad. I'm over here thinking it's 11. It's 1. A 1 o'clock game. I would have been the only one up there if I ended up getting up there. That's interesting. 1 o'clock. Huh. I this whole time I'm over here thinking 11. Let me let me correct that when we come back so I don't have people showing up to the stadium way too early. Who we got in here? Dwight, what's up? Jake, what's going on? Phil, Kenji, Mike. Q on it. I wonder if there's somebody that changed their name. I don't recognize that username off first glance. But we'll go with Q. What's up, Q? On the road from Atlanta, heading to Tuscaloosa for the game tomorrow. Nice. Be safe on the road, man. Be safe on that road. I don't know if it's rainy where you're at. This morning it was rainy. It's not really raining right now. It's just a little wet, overcast. Jimmy Sexton thrives this time of year. 100%, man. 100%. He represents I feel like he represents damn near half of college football. Kiffin's playing a risky game, especially since he has a history of Bolton. Yeah, I mean, if that's true about the whole ultimatum, man, something tells me he's going to end up staying put. I feel like he's considering it, but I feel like he's going to stay put. I could be wrong, but I feel like he's going to stay put. Super sunny in Georgia. Nice. Yeah, let me check the weather for tomorrow, man. Let me get up to date. Clearly, I'm not up to date. I'm over thinking 11 a.m. kick. This whole week I've been thinking it's 11 a.m. kick. See what the weather's going to be tomorrow. 55% chance of rain tomorrow. But I think that's in the morning, though, if I'm reading this right. Yeah, by 1, it's supposed to be 75 and sunny. So That's good. I think Kiffin ends up staying. I'm not sure he's made the decision. Yeah, I don't think he's made a decision yet, but I mean, we just got to really think about it, right? I mean, like on one hand, you got Ole Miss. You've been there several years now. You've been doing great things there, right? They love you there, clearly. They give you all the resources that you need. You got Pete Golding. I know some Bama fans aren't going to think the same way I do, but I'm telling you from my experience, literally playing for this guy's a damn good football coach. Like knows ball, like really knows ball. Sometimes does he get himself probably in a little bit of a bind and he overdoes some stuff because he's probably so smart? Could be the case. We're talking about the guy that had them as one like the top 5 defense last year. I'm pretty sure. So you got that, which you always bring that with you. But you get what I'm saying. I mean, he's established himself over there. I just don't know if it's really worth it to make that jump.
Edge on Tide 100.9.
And welcome back into this free for all Friday edition of the Miller's Edge, Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC, presented by the Good Feet Store, America's arch support experts. All right, Reed, we'll just start here because I feel like, again, it is probably the biggest topic right now after Ryan had the interview on his show yesterday. And I'm not too sure if it was out before that or what, but I just know that's how I learned of it. Because I didn't hear it live. I just saw the tweets that allegedly Kalen DeBoer has emerged as a top target in Penn State's head coaching search. Now, before everybody gets all frustrated, I mean, is this probably shocking? I wouldn't think so. I mean, Penn State is a big program. They clearly really care about winning. They fired James Franklin, who had been there, I think, 10 plus years, a guy who had them relatively in that, playoff picture pretty much year in and year out, at least over the last few years. I understand the whole argument about him not showing up in the big ones, but still, I feel like in this day and age, I mean, just being in that playoff hunt, that playoff picture is kind of, I mean, I'm not saying it should be good enough, but that's what a lot of schools should expect. I know our expectations, that wouldn't cut it. But for most programs, that should. I mean, you give them a chance, right? I mean, it's just an issue with college football. You look at, I mean, even Ryan Day at Ohio State, right? Reed, I'm sure you remember last year, right? I know they struggled with Michigan. Those people ready to get him up out of there. He ends up winning the national championship game and everybody's crickets. I think we just live in such a microwave society. People want that next best thing. And can you blame these other programs when they look over at Alabama? Kalen DeBoer only going on year 2, but year 1, he leads us to a 9-3, 9-4 record if you include the bowl game. Definitely some ups and downs there, but he needed some time to get his guys. He needed some time to get his system implemented, his culture established. Not to mention his offensive coordinator, who's been with them majority of the way. Now that a lot of that has been settled in a little bit better, now I would argue year 3 should be even more of that, the things I just mentioned. You're seeing how this thing can look, and he's doing a heck of a job. Right now, only 2 losses. Week 1 was week 1, right? We did not show up ready to play. I'd argue 9 out of 10 times we match up against that Florida State football team again. We beat them probably by 2 scores at least. But it was the first game. We weren't ready to play for whatever reason, was what it was. And then we lose a close one to Oklahoma after playing one of our sloppiest games of the year. That said, he's doing a really good job. And you can't help but notice, I guess, the things that he's doing here at Alabama in such an early amount of time. People are clearly going to take note of that. I say all that to say, just like I said in the first segment, I don't expect him to leave here by any means. And I know people are probably frustrated we're even talking about this because I know it is. I know annoying when these things come up, especially when we're focused on trying to do our thing. But just be clear, I promise you, us talking about this has no effect on how these guys go out there and show up against Eastern Illinois or even the Iron Bowl. I highly doubt they're paying that close attention to the news like that. But I also think they're probably smart enough to know it wouldn't make sense. And let's just talk about this, Reed. Why doesn't it make sense? In my opinion, number one, you look at this buyout, still at like $70 million or so. From that aspect alone, that wouldn't even, I don't even think I could process that. Now, if they want him that bad, could they probably find something out? Maybe, but that's on their end. Knowing him, I don't see him just jumping ship either, right? To me, this is the biggest thing for me why I would never expect him to leave anytime soon. You leave a Washington program that I'm gonna call him a solid program. I know it's Washington, I get that, but what I mean, like what he had built there, they just played in a national championship game. He just produced a number of NFL guys in that draft. I mean, he was establishing himself there. The path was not a little bit. Path definitely is easier over at Washington, and he could have just stayed put right there, knowing that he could build off of what they just did the year prior, playing in the national championship game, losing to Michigan. However, he decided to come here to Tuscaloosa to be the next head coach of the University of Alabama after the GOAT just retired, Nick Saban. I mean, it takes a lot of cojones to take on that job, especially when you're in a spot where you just built up that program in Washington and knowing that he probably could have had some continued success there with everything that they had going. But he decided to take that leap of faith and to challenge himself. I just don't see a world where somebody who expresses that amount of confidence in themselves and wanting to take on a challenge would then jump ship prematurely. Does that make sense? I'm not saying I see Coach DeBoer being here 10 plus years. I wouldn't necessarily say that. I think he could, but I also know that, he's probably going to, as the years go on, the more success he has, more teams and more people are going to start calling. And naturally, I mean, when I say younger, you know what I mean? Like I'd probably say he's kind of like in that middle pace. He's not like one of these young up and coming coaches, but he's not like an old guy. NFL might come calling. We already know there's been a number of college coaches that go to the NFL. If I had to guess, I feel like at some point, maybe a few years down the road, he might end up in the NFL maybe. But what I'm getting at is I just don't see why a guy would prematurely leave here when the business is not done. I mean, he came here to be the next head coach at Alabama for a reason. I don't think that reason was just to be able to go tell people or put on his resume, hey, I was the coach at Alabama. I think he really wants to prove himself here. That's the only reason you would take this job in the first place. I'm sure maybe some people, right, would say, "Oh, I just want to be able to say I'm the head coach at Alabama," but I don't think those people would probably even offer the head football job here to do that. That said, that would be my reasoning, Reed, why I don't think he would even leave. I'm sure he'll get some offers, whether it's this year, even though I think that's a little bit of a stretch given the contractual situation. But over the next couple of years, he best believe. I mean, the more success we have, we're definitely going to have more people come knocking. But I feel like until he feels satisfied with the work that he's been able to do here, I feel like he's staying put. Not to mention, I mean, just by talking to him personally, I mean, he seems to enjoy it here. He seems to have good relationships with everybody around here. He seems to, his family seems to, from my understanding, they enjoy it. I mean, I know they have a nice house here. It's been, being remodeled, all that kind of good stuff. And I know that's not like guarantees for anything, but you get what I'm saying. It just comes off to me like he's in a good spot, and I wouldn't imagine him leaving so soon. Now, a couple years down the road.
Christian, I got a question for you though. So just to kind of get your insight on this, and you tell me what you think. So, do you think that he would still be the top candidate if Alabama would have beat Oklahoma last weekend?
You're saying like, wait. You're saying you feel like that influenced them to target him more because we lost? Is that what you're saying? I understand that right?
I'm just thinking, like, speculating, like, could that have been the reason? I mean, credit, we see his success rate against, great teams. And this last weekend, it was a great matchup. But how I see things is I feel like just administrations go after, like, coaches that seem to be having, like, bad years. I wouldn't say bad years, but like how we were talking about James Franklin not being able to win the big one and then eventually him being gone. I just personally don't think if Oklahoma, we would have beat them, and then we're looking as one of the. I mean, when we were the one-loss team, we were the best one-loss team according to AP rankings, right? So I just don't think that if we would have won that game, I don't think he would have been. You know what I mean? Christian, I think your mic cut out. You're good. You're good. Still kind of Say something now. No, it's still kind of cutting out a good bit. Okay. Yeah, we'll go ahead and go to break, and then we'll get that sorted, okay?
At Tuscaloosa Mazda, they are expanding their showroom to serve you better. Come see their new and pre-owned Mazda lineup, offering fuel efficiency, advanced technology, and plush comfort. Tuscaloosa Mazda, 3100 Skyland Boulevard East, or online at TuscaloosaMazda.com.
Hey, this is Wyatt Fulton from Tide 100.9. Since moving to Tuscaloosa in 2022, I've been embraced by the community, and we want to help do the same for you and your business. I'm passionate about the Tide listeners, and I know that they will support advertisers whose products and services we endorse. At Town Square Media Tuscaloosa, we can help create customized radio and digital marketing plans to help grow your business. Hit me up at wyatt.fulton@townsquaremedia.com, and I can tell you more, and let's help your business score big.
Get your life back.
Check. Is that better?
Get your life back. And I don't
Yeah, no, I don't think it's your end. I think it's my end. Good though. Chat, can you guys hear me better? I think Reed said I'm good in the studio now.
Get your life back, baby.
Stephen
I'm reading the volume, so
Alabama injury loss.
looks like it's right.
Miz win.
Let me just not touch that cord for anything.
Alabama football is back, and there's nothing more refreshing than
Check. All right, so we're good now, guys? So much better. All right, good deal. Yeah, sorry about that, man. Listen, this, I promise you, I'll buy something probably this weekend. Like this cord, man, I guess it was a short or something. I didn't even touch it, though. It's weird, man. Damn, we're getting a good conversation. We'll bring it right back, though. We'll jump back to it. We got plenty of time. Golly, that's frustrating. I appreciate you guys for that feedback. Yeah, if anything ever comes up with that, y'all just drop it in the chat. Like, just tell me, like, maybe I should do something short. That way you can just write it quick. I know on like the streams, they always say like F. They type a F when when like the stream's like buffering or something. Maybe y'all can just type a F like failed or something. That way I know. But I'll try to pay attention to that module. Once I still don't even have my setup back right, man. But that has nothing to do with this. It's the same mic I would use. But let me not forget where we were at. The Reed asked about, do I think that loss would make a difference? We'll come back with that. Wait, Ricky, who are you talking about? I'm not trying to be funny. I don't recognize that name unless you're spelling it wrong on purpose, which I don't think you were. Hoko. Wait, are you saying he played here? Who's Braden Fahoko? I might look him up. Wait, Steelers. Wait.
.736 or visit shrimpfire.com.
This is Miller's Edge on Tide 100.9.
And welcome back into this free-for-all Friday edition of the Miller's Edge, Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC. Big apologies there. We had a quick little technical difficulty. My mic on my end was acting a little faulty, but we got it back working, and we're going to continue back on with the conversation. It was left off. Reed was asking about the Oklahoma loss. Do I feel like that played a role in Coach DeBoer being that top target? And my personal opinion is no, I don't think so, Reed. The way I view it is Penn State, man, they just fired a guy who is, a very, decorated coach. And I know people are going to be like, decorated. I mean, he hadn't really won it, but you get what I'm saying. I mean, this James Franklin is somebody that's been around for a minute, and he had them in that playoff picture. They were preseason, like number one. A lot of people had them, I guess as national champions. I didn't see that, but still, you get what I'm saying. I mean, like he's a good football coach, and well, they cut him off, right? They went ahead and fired him earlier in the season. That said, it's clear like their intentions are like they want to win, and they're probably desperate to get somebody that they feel strongly about. Now, I'm still speaking to him. I'm still trying to figure out how his whole buyout worked because what I read was he negotiated. It was supposed to be like a $48, $49 million buyout, but he negotiated it down to maybe like $9 million, and then ended up, I guess, agreeing to be the next head coach at Virginia Tech. The way I'm understanding it is, there's no way he would just leave $40 million on the table. So maybe, and this is just what I read, and I don't know if you know this, Reed, or anybody in the chat has a better understanding, but that $40 million that he quote unquote left on the table would have been Virginia Tech probably paying that. So with them basically, just signing him, like contracting him, he's going to end up making that regardless. That's the way they put it. Basically, like Penn State was going to have, or somehow was going to have to pay Penn State towards that or something. I don't know. And so he just ended up taking the 9 from them because he's going to get that 40 from Virginia Tech anyway, or something like that. That being said, I just think Penn State, they want to win, and they want somebody that they feel confident about, which same thing with LSU, right? I mean, whoever LSU hires, they want somebody they feel confident about, because these schools are tired of swinging and missing and paying all this money. And I feel like right now, Kalen DeBoer is probably one of a few coaches that you could say, hey, we want to hire this guy and we feel confident about what he can do at our school. Because you and I don't want to go all the way back, but if you want to, like the stuff he did at like D2 or wherever he was at before, and then building up Washington, he did a good job there. Then you're seeing the early success at Alabama. I think he's just kind of I wouldn't say a safe bet, but there's just something about what he's displayed so far here at Alabama that I can totally see why people are interested in getting a guy like that. So that's my position on it, Reed. But I don't see him leaving at all. And if he does leave, I don't see it being for at least another couple years at the bare minimum. And I wouldn't be shocked if it's more of an NFL type thing. To me, I'm like, if you sign up to come here to Alabama, unless you just aren't having the success or you're backing out, like it's too much, which we've seen, that's not his stance. I mean, you saw his reaction to losing against Florida State and seeing his reaction to losing Oklahoma. Like he's shown, I mean, he's a very competitive guy. Don't let the quietness and the, like that demeanor fool you. He's got his sights set on being successful here. And I'm rooting for him. I think he will have success. Now, I don't think he's going to win 6 national championships like Coach Saban, just because I don't think anybody's unrealistic to expect anybody to have that level of success. But I do think he's going to. This is what I feel like. I feel like I can confidently say this, Reed. He's going to always have us in position to be in that playoff picture and make runs. And I think that's about what you should expect in today's society with NIL, transfer portal, microwave society expectations, all that stuff. We'd love to get y'all's thoughts on that in the chat. Also, our callers, 205-342-9904. I'm sure you guys are like me. You don't see that happening, but just what were your initial reactions to hearing that? And just kind of how'd you take that? The other name that came up, Reed, that's not Kalen DeBoer, but also is on this staff, is Jamarcus Shepard. Now, Jamarcus Shepard, you guys know, he is the wide receiver coach / co-offensive coordinator, but he's a very popular guy himself, right? I mean, he's very vocal. He's done a good job at a number of receivers at Washington. Go on to be high draft picks, do some good stuff in the NFL right now. Then also, you look at his room right now. Now, he brought Jeremy Bernard with him, but we've seen the ascension of Jeremy Bernard. He went from wide receiver 4 at Washington, and it makes sense, right? It wasn't necessarily him. He's behind some good talent, but you've seen his growth, right? Ryan Williams, unfortunately, taking a step back this year, but last year you saw what Ryan Williams was able to do, and then you just see guys like Latsier Brooks. Isaiah Horton, receiver room is performing really well, and a lot of people have taken note of that. Well, a lot of people are probably going to be targeting him, and one school in particular that has come up is Oregon State. So it seems to me that's something to actually maybe follow a little bit, right? If I'm not mistaken, I think he's actually going to interview for that. At least that's being reported. I guess I'll go ahead and believe it, right? It seems legit. It's on Sports Illustrated, but um, that would make sense, right? Why would a guy like that not pursue a head coaching opportunity? And I'll be honest, I mean, shoot, Oregon State, Reed. I mean, that would be a good first head coaching gig for somebody. And I wouldn't blame him one bit. I would hate to see him go because I like the energy that he brings. I think he does a really good job with the receivers. Do I feel like sometimes he does a little too much, like with the cameras on? That's maybe for me a little bit, but hey, he's a good football coach. The guys like him, from my understanding, and he does a good job working with them. So if that does happen, best of luck to him. But again, that's something just to monitor. I don't think that would be anything to worry about right this instant, but something to maybe consider. Reed, what were your thoughts when you heard that one about Jamarcus Shepard?
I mean, yeah, I think you kind of hit it on the dot there, referring to as if, for a first like head coaching opportunity in his career. I think that'd be great. Over in the Pac-12, I know they're trying to, or right now it's the Pac-2 as I like to call it. But I mean, I know they're trying to like rebuild that whole conference. So yeah, I mean, and plus he like you were referencing earlier too, that he came over from Washington, so he'd kind of go back toward that West Coast area. I think it's if I'm him, I think it's worth the interview. But ultimately, it's the question of whether he feels comfortable where he's at, or if he feels like, okay, I'm ready to take that next step.
No, and that's a great point that you made, because you got to consider that part too, right? Because some guys, I mean, they'll do these interviews because they obviously, I mean, that's the goal of majority coaches. Not everyone. Some people prefer to stay coordinators. Believe it or not, some people don't really have aspirations to necessarily be a head coach. But if you do, you're at least going to, you're going to look into these opportunities. And like you mentioned, is he going to be ready for that? I mean, I guess time would tell. But the good news is, working closely with, head coach Kalen DeBoer, I'm sure that he's been being prepared and whatnot. But it always is interesting to see how those hires end up working out, like first time head coaches, because sometimes it's a big hit. Sometimes there's a guy that's, been having a lot of success as a coordinator or various other position, and, they get that opportunity and you see them excel. And I hate to say it, but I feel like there's a lot of times that those are kind of reach hires and they don't quite meet the expectations that you quite were hoping for. But I think with somebody like him, knowing his demeanor, you know what I mean, the way he goes about his business, because this is one thing that I don't think people always consider, Reed. Being a head coach is a whole different dynamic than being a position coach or even a coordinator. As a head coach, as a coordinator, I mean, you're overseeing position coaches and you're calling the defense/offense. But once you become that head coach, I mean, while there are a lot of head coaches that have influence, some even call plays, right? The bigger objective there is you're a true leader of men. You're overseeing not just your position coaches and your coordinators, but you're overseeing the recruiting department. You're overseeing all these aspects, right? And so it's a totally different realm. And I think that's why you see some have more success than others, because while some guys might be good football coaches, good X's and O guys, when it comes to really doing everything, I mean, the expectations in your job, like what's expected of you is totally different. But with him, I think, I mean, he has those characteristics and those qualities that I would trust out of somebody that I would, be given a chance to get their first head coaching job. So we'll see about that one, but that one wouldn't shock me. But I guess if he's being targeted, I wouldn't be shocked if you also end up hearing names along the lines of Ryan Grubb, maybe even Kane Womack. And this is kind of interesting, because if you would have asked me the first half of the season, I would have said, they probably would target Ryan Grubb. We'd probably not necessarily worry, but you get what I'm saying. You'd probably be more concerned that Ryan Grubb would be out of here first than Kane Womack. But now, with the way the defense has been performing, I wouldn't be shocked if Kane Womack ends up coming up in the names of some of these searches. Not only because of the way the defense is playing, but you got to remember he also is a former head coach. Ryan Grubb hasn't had that title just yet. So just something to look out for. And I'm not talking about this to make all our fans start worried and say, oh, we might lose our side. I'm not saying all that. There's just all these coaching rumors swirling, and we're playing Eastern Illinois. So we're just having fun, just kind of chopping it up, talking about a number of things. But if I'm completely honest with you, number one, I definitely don't see Coach DeBoer leaving anytime soon. And number two, I don't see it being one of those situations like I used to have to deal with, where it's like you got a whole new house, like you almost clean house because everybody just goes on and get jobs like after like 1 year. Like it seemed like we had to deal with at Alabama. Like I had three different defensive coordinators in my time here. Offensive coordinators, I had, man, let's see, we had Loxley, we had Brian Dabble, we had Lane Kiffin, and Sarkisian. So I had four different offensive coordinators. So you get what I'm saying. But the good news is, one thing I can say, if you do experience some coaches that leave, I can tell you guys, to me, as long as you have like your head coach is a true kind of core component of that, which I know you're probably, well, duh, he is head coach, but trust me, it's a little bit different. Like I always knew, like as a player, I wasn't really concerned like if we had coaches leave, as long as Coach Saban was here, because he was like the nucleus of everything. And I feel like it's a very similar thing with Coach DeBoer. Do I feel like we've been better with the addition of Ryan Grubb? Yes. But I think we've also seen that even while just promoting within, bringing Nick Sheridan up, I know there was a lot of criticism and a lot of gripes at times. And actually, if you look back, it really probably wasn't as bad as a lot of people said. I never was that. I know my dad, yes, I know he was pretty critical. But me, I never was like that critical. But I'll just say this. I think as long as Coach DeBoer is here, I think you can trust that he'll always have a good plan because he's just one of those guys that you can rely on, in my opinion. But you got to be careful saying that nowadays because you say that, then head coach is here 1 minute and gone the next. But anyway, that being said, we're going to hit a timeout. When we come back, we'll hear y'all's thoughts. We got JR online, 205-342-9904. Plus, we'll read y'all's comments here. And we'll start talking about this game, too. I know we talked about it a little bit yesterday, but if you guys want to piggyback off of that, talk about our main keys for this game. We'd love to hear from you guys as well. What you guys want to see from this game? What you think Alabama needs to go into it, looking to improve? I named mine yesterday. I'll repeat them here in a minute, and we'll go from there. Right on the Miller's Edge, Tide 100.9, 1230, WTBC. Hey, it's Christian Miller, host of the Miller's Edge here on Tide 100.9, coming to wish you and all your loved ones a happy Thanksgiving and happy holidays on behalf of myself and all the fine folks here at Tide 100.9. So I had to let that play for you guys on YouTube as well, man. That's on the radio. Let's see what we got. I see a lot of comments. Good, man. I want to hear what you guys have to say. I really gave Coach DeBoer to year 3 to show me something. Year 3 should be a hold my beer year. Wait, Ricky, not to change topic again. Wait, what did that guy say? I recognize the name now. Defensive tackle. I mean, he's in the league right now, but I recognize it from. I don't know. Did I play against him in 2018? If not, I know the name. I've heard of his name. What did he say or do that made you say that about him? I'm curious. Compliment to us, it means coaches are doing something right. Absolutely. That's literally what it means. I mean, you got a good program. Yeah, I still will never get. 2015, the year we won the national championship. I mean, like, you talk about guys getting hired off. I mean, Dan Lanning was an analyst that year. Kirby went to Georgia as a head coach. Mel Tucker ended up being a head coach at Michigan State. Receivers coach Billy Napier, Mario Cristobal. I mean, now you talk about coaches leaving and getting opportunities. That was crazy. 2015's coaching staff was crazy. I'm sure Penn State put that out there because their fans want them going after big name coaches, and they may have already turned down a couple times. I mean, it could be something like that. Just trying to get some positive press their way or make it seem like they're doing some big stuff. The way I understand it is these big buyouts never actually get paid out. Like LSU is trying to do the negotiation thing to get it down. And the coach either goes and finds another job or goes on TV. Yeah, but I feel like Odron got paid out. And I feel like, what's his name? Sorry, it's been one of those mornings, man. Jimbo Fisher, I feel like they got paid. Or maybe there's some things where, like, if that school that fired them has to pay them as long as they're out of work. Maybe once they try to go get another job, that's when the other school would be responsible for paying. I don't know. I'm still trying to figure everything out. I'm thinking Franklin knew he was going to get another job and wasn't in it for the money, just wanted to coach again. Yeah, no, he definitely was, ready to coach again. Everything indicated that 100%. I agree with you, Jake. And that's why I'm saying I think the reason he negotiated is because I think if he wanted to take that job, at least like instantly, it had to work out like that. I just can't imagine somebody literally saying, "Hey, I want to coach so much, man. Y'all just don't worry about that $40 million that you technically owe me." Listen, I'm not somebody. I mean, listen, I'm definitely big on investing, and I try to, who doesn't want to, keep doing things really well for themselves. But $40 million, guys. No, no, come on, man. No, no. And you just fired me early? No, no, no. No, you fired me early, man. No, we gotta figure that out, bro.
It's 67 degrees in
I don't know, bro.
Tuscaloosa.
This is Miller's Edge on Tide 100.9.
And welcome back into this Free For All Friday edition of the Miller's Edge, Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC. Free For All Friday means we're talking about anything and everything. That's why we're giving a little attention to all these coaching rumors that are swirling. Again, let me preface by saying this. Let me go back and say this for anybody who's just now tuning in. We do not, I repeat, we do not believe Coach DeBoer is leaving anywhere. While I wouldn't be surprised if he is a top target for schools like Penn State, I don't see it happening anytime soon at all. But it's a free-for-all Friday. It's something to talk about. We're playing Eastern Illinois. We're just having fun. It's a good conversation to have because it leads to a number of things. I'm reading all these messages here in the chat, man. A lot of you guys have a lot of interesting comments, and so I'm finally catching back up and reading everything. But I see Ricky say, "Don't even put that energy out there about." Wait, hold on, Kane Womack. That's been my guy since last year. Nah, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. Kane Womack wants to be a head coach again. I'm not trying to put energy out. I'm just gonna be honest with you. He wants to be a head coach again. He's one of the guys like he wants to be a head coach again. However, I don't see him leaving here until the right opportunity comes up. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's very fair. At the end of the day, most of these coaches, I mean, it's about climbing. We're just like you guys in y'all's professions. I mean, typically about climbing. I mean, some people, right, aren't really too concerned about that. I'll give you an example, like myself. Like, I'm not really interested in like climbing this whole broadcast thing. I kind of just fell into my lap, and I just like doing the show just because it's fun to talk football like that. I don't really want to climb the broadcast and stuff right now. I like doing a lot of other stuff. But with coaches, that's typically what they aim for, and he's one of those guys. But I'm not putting that out there. If anything, I'm just complimenting the job that he's done this year. Because initially I would have said, he probably would have to wait, a little bit more till that opportunity might come. But if they continue playing the way they're playing defensively, I would not be shocked if eventually that right opportunity ends up coming up. I was talking with somebody like, do I see him leaving for getting an opportunity like Florida or somewhere like that off the bat? No. I don't, not right now. Maybe in a year or two down the road, but I could see, I know James Franklin took the job, but like a school maybe like that Oregon State, like a Virginia Tech, maybe one of those schools. I could see one of those maybe reaching out to a guy like Kane Womack. But right now, I think some of those bigger openings, I think they're a little bit down the road. But this is my opinion. 205-342-9904. Let's take a break from that talk and let's go to the phone lines. We got JR up first. JR, welcome in.
Well, hello, Christian. Been a minute.
Yeah, how are you?
I'm doing good. I've been listening to your show today, and I'd love to dive in and make some comments on the coaching. The people trying to draw a coach away, trying to hire him, and I kind of feel like he's kind of. I mean, he's rooting in. He's only been here now, not even completed 2 years yet. And I believe he's got a good thing going here, and I don't see that he wants to leave at this point. But the one thing I was going to say was what kind of money is it going to take to draw him away? And if that were to happen, how would you think Alabama would respond as far as the money they would offer him to stay, more to stay? I mean, if all that's part of the picture.
Yeah, no, that's a great point. And that's one of, even if, it was a consideration, that hurdle alone, I think is going to run off majority of people from even maybe they would attempt it, but I don't think it would go very far. I mean, because right now, to my knowledge, his buyout is like in the $70 million range, which would easily clear as one of the highest paid buyouts, right there with like the whole Jimbo Fisher Texas A&M one. And I just don't know many schools that would be willing to take on something like that. Not to mention, it's pretty clear Greg Byrne is really high on Kalen DeBoer, and I don't see I don't see anybody just coming in here and hiring him off without a fight. And I could totally see Greg Byrne doing everything in his power or necessary
Yeah.
to keep him here. So that's why I don't think anybody should even. I know some people were frustrated when they first were hearing that. At least that's what I saw online. People were kind of frustrated that was coming out, not with Coach DeBoer, but just why are we even worried about this right now? And you're hearing it from me. I don't even think that's something you need to worry about. At least not right now. A couple years down the road, maybe, but right now, absolutely not.
I agree with you. Well, here I got some other thing. I want to shift gears a little bit into another topic, and that is Formby, our offensive line. Any right tackle?
He was, but now they've got him playing right guard. But yes, he's typically right tackle. That's right.
I just he's kind of struggling, I believe, and I'm not going to totally blame him for all the offensive line debacles, but I do want to say that he's missed some assignments. Now it may be just communication problems, I'm not sure, but I've seen him miss some blocks that he should have blocked. I mean, just made a little effort or was confused at which direction to go. I don't know what goes on, but who do you think they're going to? Do you think if they plug some other player into his position, who would that be? And would they totally set Formby on the bench for a while, and or would they shift the line of scrimmage around to adapt to another player being brought in? Because I just feel like they're going to do that, especially during this game with Eastern Illinois?
It is. Well, believe it or not, JR, they kind of are one step ahead of you, man. So what they did was last game against Oklahoma, they bumped him into right guard, and they brought Michael Carroll back out at right tackle. So that being said, he actually played one of his better games of the season last week against Oklahoma while he was at right guard. I would imagine
I agree. He did very good.
Yeah. So I would imagine they probably plan on, sticking with that for now, because I think Michael Carroll did a solid job as well. I know he had that sack, but I think that was the only one he was responsible for. And in terms of even like pressures, I mean, look, he's a young guy. I mean, he's still green. You're expecting, he's not going to be perfect. And I thought he did a solid job, especially going against a front in Oklahoma. I know they were missing R. Mason Taylor, their best edge guy, but still 44 is a good player. And that was not an easy task. And I thought Michael Carroll handled it pretty well. So if I had to guess, now I didn't go to practice this week, so I'm not sure of rotations or what they're going to do. But if I had to guess, they'll probably lean into what they did last week, because I thought it worked well. Even in the running game, I know the running game was a little bit better.
Yeah,
I wouldn't say it was. Yeah, it wasn't drastically better. Yeah, I was going to say it's a little bit better. But I will say this last game, I would attribute that being more so on the backs, not hitting holes or not trusting it as much as they should.
Exactly.
I'll say this now. A few weeks prior, there were definitely some. We watched tape. I'm not just saying this because there's some people that just go, "Oh, the running game's not working." Oh, then they blame the offensive line. I don't do that. I always go back. I have the tape pulled up right here on our YouTube stream. When I watch the tape and a few games prior, yes, there were some miscommunications up front. There's some guys that weren't finishing blocks, but there also was issues with the backs not hitting the holes. This last game against Oklahoma, I thought the offensive line actually played pretty well, especially given the guys they're going against. They weren't perfect, but given the competition, they did pretty good. And I thought it was a little bit more on the backs, say maybe 70% the backs fault, 30% on the line, versus it being maybe like 50-50 in a few weeks prior, which, again, kudos to the offensive line.
Well, that's good news. Except our running back,
they're making progress.
If they're an issue, they're making progress. What about the new guy they're wanting to plug in there? Maybe not new, but
Are you referring to AK Deer? You mean like the freshman?
Yes, Deer.
What do you mean? What are my thoughts about him?
Yeah, do you think he's going to come in and maybe make a statement and maybe get more playing time?
If I'm being honest with you, JR, I've always been the type of person, just because I know how this whole thing works, man. Like, I mean, I'm close to a lot of the coaches up there, and even from my experience, I can tell you, like, if someone's not getting a lot of playing time, there's always a reason, right? And I'm not saying that's even a bad reason. That reason could be as simple as the guy in front of them they feel is a little bit more trustworthy, right? So all I'm getting at is I know from the outside looking in, it's easy for fans, and I get it. I mean, fans, that's what you guys have to do. You have to speculate. You guys don't watch practice like the coaches. It's not y'all's fault. That's y'all's only option. You can't watch practice. But what I'm getting at is if they felt that he was the answer to the running game, I can guarantee you he would have seen the field a lot earlier. I think he's just one of those guys that's still kind of developing, working behind the scenes. I mean, even from what I saw out of him, back in like training camp and whatnot, like he's definitely got a lot of ability and a lot of potential, but he's still progressing and just learning and developing. But I think he'll get some opportunities in this game when we were playing Eastern Illinois. God, I'd hope he has a chance to get in there because that means we're dominant.
Right. Well, all right. I hear the music, and I know you're running out of time. I was wanting to hear your opinion a little bit on Jam Miller. Maybe you can work that in the next segment. But I appreciate you very much, Christian.
Absolutely.
You have a great rest of your day.
Yes, sir. Thank you, JR. You too. We'll talk a little bit about him when we come back in hour number 2. Don't worry. You're listening to the Miller's Edge, Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC, presented by the Good Feet Store, America's Art Sport Experts. Quick time out. Hour number 2 come right up.
WTBC Tuscaloosa.
Okay, that time I accidentally hit the cord. Guys, do I sound good? Type of 1 in the comments if I sound good. Just want to make sure. Reed says I'm good. I just want to make sure for you guys. Yeah, no, that time it was me. That was my fault this time. All right, 1. All right, cool. Thank you guys. I appreciate it. Perfect. All right, good deal. Yeah, that's what we'll do. We'll start doing that. I'll just say hit a 1 if everything's good, or like a 2 if something's wrong. Perfect. That's perfect. Appreciate you guys. Thanks, chat. That was my fault. I accidentally hit the cord that time. I jumped the gun. Let's see. What did Tia say? If I'm a Penn State fan, why would I even? Oh, and by the way, since we got plenty of time in Eastern Illinois. If there's something you guys want me to pull up on tape, let me know. I got the tape pulled up. We can always watch some of that too. I guess we could pull up some of the rushing attempts from the Oklahoma game too. Just kind of diagnose that. Let me read this real quick. If I'm a Penn State fan, why would I even want a coach who would leave Alabama to come? It's like admitting Alabama was too hard for you. I wouldn't want a coach like that. Ooh. I mean, low key, you're not wrong. I mean, listen, and the only reason I say it, if you leave after being here several years, one thing. But if you were to leave like mad early, yeah, that would kind of give, like, the challenge was a much, maybe the pressure was a little much. Even though I would argue, I mean, the pressure at Penn State, now the expectations might not be as high, but without a doubt, you've got high pressure at a place like Penn State as well, right? I mean, just look at it. They just fired James Franklin. Now, he was there a long time, but it's not like the dude went and lost like 5 games back-to-back seasons. I mean, literally, they just were right there the year prior. Eastern Illinois tape, this almost feels like a bye week. That's why I was saying, Ricky, I don't even think I have access to Eastern Illinois tape unless we put up on YouTube. If you guys want, I can pull up some Eastern Illinois tape, but I was just going to try to find some running plays here since everybody's asking about it. Let's see. Oh, wait, hold on 1 second. We're about to come back here.
And with Christian Miller taking him down. It's time for the Miller's Edge with New York Giants legend and South Carolina Hall of Famer Corey Miller and his son, four-time SEC champion and two-time national champion Christian Miller.
Knocked down again. That was Christian Miller.
Here is college football playoff national champion Christian Miller on Tide 100.9 and 12:30 a.m. WTBC.
And welcome back into this free-for-all Friday edition of the Miller's Edge, Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC, presented by the Good Feet Store, America's Arch Sport Experts. Hour number 2 officially underway. And real quick, before we kick off hour number 2, don't forget about our friends over at R&R Cigars. If you guys are in the market for those premium cigars, look no further than R&R Cigars. Go to their website, rnrcigars.com. Use that code Miller's Edge. You get a big discount there, plus they have free shipping if it applies on your order. But if you're ever looking for a place to watch the game, you can go do it tomorrow. And correction, I said 11 a.m. It's 1 p.m. Tomorrow. You can go watch that R&R if you're not going to the game. Enjoy over 160 bourbons that they have. They're now implementing the new Yay Alabama alcoholic beverages. So you guys can go test those out and try those there. Make sure you drink responsibly. And plus, they're doing that food drive as well. Canned goods, non-perishable items. They're still doing that. A lot of us are gearing up for Thanksgiving, expecting to have, great meals and a lot of great times. Well, there's a lot of people that are going to be without and aren't as fortunate. So make sure if you guys are in the position to donate or to help out, make sure you guys do that. You also be rewarded with a 50% off one cigar coupon, so to speak, from them for your contributions. But even if you don't need that, just help somebody out that might be in need as well. So that said, hour number 2 underway. Let's see what we got here. I think we got Tommy on the phone lines. Let's go ahead and hit Tommy real quick on the phone lines. Tommy, welcome in.
Hey, Greg, how are you today?
I'm doing well. Tommy, how are you?
Are you fine?
Nice.
Well,
nice.
it's a good thing that people were like coaching staff. If they didn't, somebody said, well, we don't have good coaches. It's a no-win situation. You got good coaches, people won. You got bad coaches, the fan base don't win. So you can't win. And it's a time of the season, people are going to talk about raises and moving all up. And the coaching kind of like it. So, I mean, I got news for you. There's going to be a lot of more empty jobs in the next 2 weeks.
Oh, yeah. There's going to be plenty of movement and rumors and all that stuff. One to keep an eye on is Lane Kiffin. Allegedly, he's got an ultimatum saying he's got to make a decision before, I guess, by the end of the Egg Bowl, or I don't know, maybe they meant before. I don't know, but we'll have to see. Personally, I think he ends up staying put, but I wouldn't be shocked if he ends up taking the LSU job, but I'm leaning towards him staying put. But it's funny, though. A lot of people are saying, well, what if the crazy scenario happens where Kalen DeBoer leaves for Penn State, Lane ends up doing a complete audible and comes here, which that's not happening, but that would just be wild if something crazy like that happened. But I would never imagine that being the case.
Yeah, I'll have a hard time believing that. I mean, and this, and the NFL is really fine coaches either. So,
right.
I know the Giants got rid of them, but there'll be some more. I mean, so.
Yeah, we'll have to see. It'll be interesting.
Yeah, I mean. But everybody, they're out of shape. Let it play out. We got 2 more weeks of football season. And the conference championship game. We'll know everything by then. Don't play about it. I mean, I just see all these people losing their mind over this. Not like 85% of these rumors don't ever pan out. So, I mean, we'll see.
Yeah, no, we will.
I will wish the fucking team good luck for the night.
in the second round of the NCAA tournament in women's soccer. So
Oh, yeah.
Rose Tide.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, we'll definitely be cheering for them too. I'm not sure how you can watch that, but Tom, you got a score prediction for us?
Oh yeah, 56% Alabama.
56-6.
Yeah,
I'll take it, man.
I
I'll
don't
take it.
think. Yeah.
Two
yeah.
field goals, or a touchdown and a missed extra point.
I'm gonna say 2 field goals.
Yeah. I wouldn't be mad at it. I wouldn't be mad at it. If they get 2 field goals, man, they must have some help with field position. I'm not gonna lie to you, man. I'm feeling a goose egg just because this offense that we're about to face in Eastern Illinois, they've struggled. But I know they got one dual threat quarterback. Maybe he can wiggle away and get them in field position to kick a field goal a couple times. I don't know. We'll have to see. But Tom, we appreciate it, man. Take care of yourself. Are you going to the game this weekend?
Yeah, I'll be there more. Yeah.
Good deal, man. We'll enjoy, have fun, and hopefully we'll be sending you a signed football and some merch, man. 56-6, man. I got it written down.
All right, man.
Yes, sir.
Tommy,
you too, brother. Roll Tide, man. Good deal, man. That's our buddy Tommy. 2-time Tommy from Romulus. He's got 56-6, man. He's got Eastern Illinois. What's their mascot, Reed? Do you know? Eastern Illinois? Looks like a tiger or something. Are they tigers? Do you know by chance, Reed?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, no, they're the Panthers.
The Panthers. Okay, there we go. I should have known that, man. I'm a former Panther. Not for Eastern Illinois, but thank you, Superfly. But for Carolina. All right, that being said, Tommy's got 6 points on the board. What do you guys think, man? Don't forget to drop your score predictions. Reed just reminded me too. He's going to take the notes. He's going to keep track of it too. So drop your score predictions here. Tommy's got the Panthers scoring 6 on our defense. That will put them 3 shy of reaching what LSU scored. Now, I'll say this: I hadn't watched a bunch of Eastern Illinois, just from what I've kind of gathered. I think this defense will be ticked off if they even allowed 3 points, man. I think this defense really is feeling very confident, man. Like if you just listen to Nikai Hill-Green, LT Overton, these guys, man, I mean, like the way they're playing, which makes sense, they're backing it up. I would give them a field goal, knowing like at the end of the game. That's the other thing you gotta consider too. Like when the backups get in, I hate saying it like that. Like that, I feel like that's like I'm not like a condescending term, but when the reserve guys, I think it's a better word. When the reserve players end up getting in, sometimes, I don't know. I feel like sometimes they can lead to some sneaky points. But I might lean towards 3 points. I got to come up with our offensive score. I see Jake's got 63-3, 42-7 for Joey. It's going to be an interesting one. If somebody hits this, man, you guys definitely are good. We got 45-0 by Phil. All right. It's going to be an interesting one, man. Jake's defense has a swagger we haven't had since you were in school. I think at this point, they have kind of had a resurgence of that confidence, right? Now we just need the offense to get that same confidence. And the offense had that earlier in the think about, remember Georgia, Ty scores. He's kind of, flossing in front of I don't know if it was the student section or just the crowd, whatever it was, but we kind of had that swagger on offense, man. I think we got to get that swagger back. I just feel like and yes, I know people get mad when people say this, but I feel like we have regressed a little bit offensively. But it's true, right? The definition is just kind of falling back from your standard or your norm, and that's what we've done the last 3 weeks. That said, I think a lot of it, man, probably can be, tallied up to being on the mental side of things, man. And I think that just needs to be, brought back. And I think this is the great first week to do it. We talked a little bit about Ty yesterday, and the reason I'm thinking about this, I'm seeing this play here. This is just one of those plays from Oklahoma. Just watching it, it was the last play. We just missed Bernard, but if you look at it, guys, I mean, it would have been probably a 25-yard reception. It's like just inches, quote unquote, off, right? Bernard stretched out for it, had his hands on the ball, couldn't come down with it, but it's just like the last 4 or 5 weeks before last 2 or 3 games, we were connected on those, and now we're just like a tad off, like an inch off, a second behind. I think that's all going to get back in that rhythm. But in order for us to have more success offensively, we got to find a way to do that. And again, that comes from a number of things. I think timing. I think just having a better internal clock for Ty, expecting when pressure's coming, right? Just like that pick six, Oklahoma, great job with everything they did defensively, but as a quarterback, even though pre-snap I understand what he was thinking, going hot to that slant. I understand the look he got, but as soon as that receiver, or it's not, excuse me, not receiver, but that linebacker is in his face immediately. Sometimes I think like the growth out of Ty comes from when he can then say, all right, this is going to be a dirt ball, or I want to eat this sack right here. You know what I mean? This kind of ties into, for me, I think what would help Ty is just taking what the defense gives him and not being afraid to take some of those negatives when that might, and it doesn't have to be, you can throw it away. But for example, when you have a guy in your face like that, if you try to dirt it, it's probably going to be intentional grounding, but just eat the sack. You'd much rather be in 2nd and 16 than live to play another down than throw a pick six and put points on the board for other teams. So just little things like that. I think if we clean those up offensively, man, I think we'll get back in our rhythm. But also Stars are taking pressure off of them. I'm looking at this play right here. You're talking about the running game. This is our most explosive run of the game against Oklahoma. Nice job by Daniel Hill. And simple concept, really. I mean, it really just inside zone. You got some combo blocks. Guys, hat on a hat. Now, Oklahoma was outnumbered right here just by their personnel and the way they lined up defensively. However, you talked about Formby not long ago. Great job on his block, right? Great job by Michael Carroll. And you see that hole, man. Daniel does a good job hitting it, and he's off to the races. Breaks a tackle right there. High steps, ends up going for like 28 yards. So more explosives like that, I think will help this offense out tremendously. And we got a great opportunity tomorrow to kind of build that momentum and that confidence against the Panthers. 1 o'clock kick, not 11, like I said earlier. 1 o'clock kick. All right, let's hit our first time out of hour number 2. We come back, we keep on rolling. We got the tape pulled up, so we'll take some looks over there at some stuff to look out for. Plus, we're taking your score predictions right here. 205-342-9904 is the number to the program, or you can drop it in the comment section here or on Facebook or on the Tide 100.9 app as well. You listen to the Miller's Edge. Quick timeout. We'll be right back.
At Tuscaloosa.
All right, let's see what you guys have been saying there. Sorry, this dog's gonna drive me nuts, man. Let's see. Keep it a buck. Katie hadn't stayed at a school more than 2 to 3 years. What was he at Washington for? 3 years? But to be fair, though, if the Alabama job didn't open up, I don't think he would have left White. To me, you view that Alabama job as you don't know when that's going to open up next, right? Or when you might have that same opportunity. Hell, next time it opens up, he might not be in a position to take the job for whatever reason. So can't blame him there. Now, the other ones I'm not 100% sure on, but Penn State jobs. But Penn State's a big program. I mean, I feel you, but I mean that's a big get for a lot of people for sure. Let's see. I think he stays put until Bama opens. You talking about Lane? Do you guys think that Lane would be accepted as head coach here? Because I remember when we were doing the search, you had people like my dad, even myself. I thought Lane would have been a good hire, given his history here and working with Coach Saban. Having a similar process. But I remember at the time, there's a lot of people that didn't feel like he would have, quote unquote, qualified or been accepted, whether it's by boosters, Greg Byrne, whatever the case. Do you think that's a little bit different now, a couple years later? Curious y'all's thoughts on that. Good run right there. Let's see what else we got. Oh, just going back to the blocking though. You see, they almost kind of hurt themselves. See these run stunts that they're doing? They're doing this like all game, right? See how they wrap the tackle for the nose? You see what they just did there? Like watch a guy Brailsford's on, you see him wrap. So in this case, it bites them. They're trying to do a little run stunt, ends up biting them. But then, like I said, just really good blocking here. Great job by Formby getting his block. Michael Carroll. Again, just enough of a finish. This is what I'm talking about by finishing blocks, so right? Just enough to where they can't shed and go make a play. That's all you got to do, man. All you got to do and let your guys make plays. But the backs just got to make sure they're hitting those holes. Did a good job there. We got here. Let's see what happens here. So it's blocked like duo. You got combo here, combo here. You got 81 in the C area. Getting a little handled a little bit. He's young. He'll get stronger. He'll get more power in him. But they just do a nice job coming down, right? I mean, they've got 7 guys / this guy close, all right here in the box. We don't have enough guys to block here. I mean, maybe he comes off, climbs up here, but I don't know who. You just got an unblocked guy, man. On that one, it's not really on anybody, really. It's just good defense there, or just lucky, I guess. Good call. And welcome back into this Friday edition of the Miller's Edge. Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC, presented by the Good Feet Store, America's arch support experts. All right, let's keep on rolling here. I think we're cleared up on the phone lines. Yes, we're cleared up on the phone lines. So let's keep on going. Should we show a little more love to Eastern Illinois, Reed? I know we were talking about it with Chase, but how much do you know about Eastern Illinois? Do you know a little bit about them?
Yeah, I mean, I know a little bit. In their conference, they're not having too hot of a season. I'd have to look at the guy's name, but number 5, their starting linebacker, I believe, and I'm pretty sure he also leads the team in total tackles. I'll get his name for you in a little bit, but he actually played here local in Tuscaloosa at Hillcrest High School.
Oh, did he? Oh, well, good for him, man. Well, that's cool. He gets to come back home. And real quick, while I'm looking at this, I'm not gonna lie to you. I was talking about this run play. If you want to nitpick, I know Daniel Hill's not supposed to cut this back, but I'm not gonna lie to you. Hindsight's 20/20, but you got a free runner right there through that gap. Maybe you do try to, put your foot in the ground and cut up in that backside A. Anyway, that's just me being picky here. But that's cool though. They got a guy that's from Tuscaloosa, man. He'll get to play in Tuscaloosa, just not for Alabama, but that's good. In terms of their team, this is what I've gathered. Again, I've kind of just done some research. I've seen a couple highlights, but nothing like I typically do. But all I can tell you is they're an SCS team that's they're struggling. They're on a 6-game losing streak right now. In terms of kind of what you can expect out of them, they got a 2-quarterback system. One being the guy they bring in when they're trying to stretch the football down the field. The other guy being a dual threat that I think they're second lead in rusher. I think he's got like 500 plus yards on the ground. If I had to guess, I imagine we see a little bit more of that guy. Listen, these schools, I mean, one of the biggest difference between these guys is not so much the skill guys all the time, but like the lines, right? Like the trenches. These guys would be foolish to try to sit there and drop back and throw the football, not only just against our passing, our secondary, who has one of the best passing defense grades in the country, but also the guys up front. Our pass rush has been coming along. That would just be the worst game plan if you just think your guys are going to be able to hold up blocking guys like Yanze Pierre. Hell, we might even see Quay Rusall this week. I don't know where he's at on the injury report. I don't know if they feel like it's worth putting him out there. Maybe they do let him get some reps to kind of get back in that game shape. Something we haven't really talked about. That probably wouldn't be a bad idea if he's close to it. Let him get his feet wet a little bit. No pun intended there, because I think he had a foot injury. But get him ready, because you might really need him come next week at the Iron Bowl. That said, I think you can probably see the dual threat quarterback a little bit more. I envision a good bit of quarterback design run, screen game, quick pass. That's what you get out of these teams. Like, they understand they're not going to really stand a chance. You're going to see a bunch of screens, a bunch of quick pass. You're going to have a bunch of negative plays, because that always happens. And personally, the way I feel like it goes, I think by I think like ULM was a better team than this team. And we saw how that game went. I think by early third quarter, we're probably already talking about some of the reserves getting some opportunities. That said, I did see somebody in the chat. Appreciate y'all's insight or intel. They said they bring a lot of pressure on defense, man. So do they have the Jimmies and Joes for that pressure to be effective? Absolutely not. But maybe it's a good little tune-up for our guys to see some different looks, practice getting some pressure, taking it on, making the right communications, and getting the pickups right. So that would be good. But that's kind of what I'm anticipating for the most part out of this game. I'll be honest with you. That's why we hadn't really did much of a dive. I mean, it's just about as a cupcake of a game as it gets. Sometimes we play these smaller schools, Reed, but they at least are like good in their conference. Like they're small schools, but they're like good teams. Not only is this an FCS team, but they're bad at that. So yeah, that's about what I have for you guys regarding that. In terms of things, just to repeat a little bit what we talked about yesterday, but for you guys that didn't hear, what I want to see out of our guys, talking about the running game right now, I definitely want to see us have success there, which is not going to prove anything to me. I'm like knowing that personnel wise, I mean, we'll run the ball successfully regardless of whatever we do, but I want to see us go out there and have good execution doing it, right? Like, I'm not going to be like, oh man, we just ran for 150 yards on Eastern Illinois. Man, our running game's back. No. But when I turn on the tape Monday, I want to see good fundamentals. I want to see good execution. I want to see guys, getting their combo blocks, climbing to the second level, right? I mean, we expect to see good push, but I want to see those things from an execution standpoint. I want to see us start fast. I see 2-minute offense in the chat. That's a good one. I want to see us start fast. Me and Gray, who joined us, Gray Robertson, he joined us on Wednesday. We talked about this on our post-game show, which you guys can catch over on the Crimson Tide Sports Network. Me and him do that about an hour after the game concludes. Getting back to those fast starts, right? We hadn't really seen that as much out of our offense in recent games. And also even coming out of halftime. I think that's another big one. I just, all the little things that we harp on, I would love to see those in this game just to kind of get that rhythm going. Because this what you should use this game for. Focus on yourself, face this opponent, go out there, impose your will, and do all the cleanup duty that you need to do, right? I see From joking around, he said field goals. Definitely would I mean, I would rather those just come off of PATs because, I mean, I don't want us getting stopped by these guys. But if we do have to kick a few field goals, you best believe I want Talty to get some good experience, man. We're going to need them, man. I know people have been kind of, giving them a tough time. But in all seriousness, man, like, we all know how it feels to have stuff come down to a field goal and things not go the way we need it to. I'm rooting for the young man. I want him to succeed. And hopefully he can kind of get himself going, right? I mean, I know it's tough, especially as a kicker. Like, one of the biggest things at that job is confidence. And I would imagine right now his confidence probably isn't where it probably should be. So hopefully he's able to overcome some of those woes that he had and can establish himself. Not saying he's not like he was at some point here, then he kind of dipped off. I mean, I think he is what he is, but hopefully he can find a way to do some good stuff. Reed, anything for you that you're looking for in this game? Like I said, for me, really offensively, running game, good execution, right? Establishing our deep ball again, right? We hadn't really hit on that much, just kind of getting those connections back strong and solid. And then defensively, I think go out there and do everything we've been doing, but get our turnovers back going. That we didn't have those last week against Oklahoma. Let's make up for it in this game. Let's go force a handful of them, right? Get after the quarterback if they give you that opportunity. You got a chance to go practice against a dual threat quarterback, something that you'll see a little bit against Auburn. Probably, I know they're playing their other guy, but still. And down the road, if you play A&M, you'll definitely see a dual threat quarterback there. So utilize this opportunity to kind of get some experience there and really just go out there and play our game. And then we talked about special teams. What about you, Reed? What are you looking forward to in this game out of Alabama?
Well, Christian, I think you brought up all the points, really. The only thing I wanted to mention, and we talked about it a little bit earlier, was mainly our offense finding their mojo back. This needs to be a confidence booster game, especially heading into an Iron Bowl that's on the road at night. You're going to need to have your confidence as high as possible. You're going to have that, that rhythm when it's loud and proud over in Jordan Hare, and you're going to have be on, like, the whole offense needs to be on the same page. I'm really hoping we get back to how we were, on that end. And then kind of wanted to get the guy I was referring to earlier on Eastern Illinois from Hillcrest. His name is Jawan Nixon, number 5. He does lead the team in total tackles with 87. He also added on 2 pass deflections, 2 sacks, and 2 forced fumbles. So if there is a guy to be looking at on that defense leading the charge, it's probably going to be Jawan Nixon. But and then also at the very end, the special teams. This is going to be kind of just like the offense. I know Talty's kind of his confidence has been struck. But it's better to get him as much experience and time this game than in a very harsh environment against a rival on the road in the following week.
Yeah, no doubt. And speaking real quick, I mentioned Quay Russaw. We got the practice highlights from a day or so ago. You see Quay Russaw back in the action. Now, he's been back practicing, but now you get to see this on video right here. That's good to see. So I would expect to probably see him get some reps in this game, which that's going to be exciting, man. I'm excited to have him back. I know Brooks Austin from the Film Guy Network. I know he was on Paul Feinbaum making it seem like he's kind of worthless now that Yonze Pierre stepped up, but that couldn't be any further from the truth. That's only going to enhance the play of a guy like Yonze and this whole defense, right? Having a counterpart to Yonze, because look, we hadn't had that, right? I mean, before Quay got hurt, I mean, you had the two of them, but they hadn't really come alive just yet. They were just about to. I remember Quay had a big sack against Wisconsin, right? Great get off, beat the guy off the edge, and we were like, okay, that's what we were expecting to see out of this guy. Then unfortunately ended up getting hurt not long after that. Well, now you got them both back, and Yonze's playing at an extremely high level. Having Quay back is going to just boost that room, boost this defense, have more veteran presence out there when you are rotating guys like from, Yonze, not relying as much on Justin Hill, who's done a nice job, right, as a freshman for sure. But Quay, I mean, he was your number one guy at that room before he got hurt. And I think people just sometimes they start talking crazy when, injuries happen or, oh, you see Yonze playing so well, man. Nah. You only enhance yourself with him back. So I'm looking forward to that too, right? Now, I don't know how many true rush opportunities he's going to get. Like I said, I don't expect them to do a bunch of true drop back pass. They're going to love to do the quick game, screen game. So we might not really get to see him really get after it in terms of pass rush. But I think this is going to be nice just to see what things look like with him and Yonze back out there on the field. So I'm looking forward to that. And maybe that's just the former edge in me, but I think it's going to be really fun to watch over the next few weeks. All right, we got to hit another timeout. Stay on schedule. When we come back, we'll keep on rolling, keep on discussing this, some more of these rumors and all that good stuff right here on the Miller's Edge. When we come back, Tide 100.9, 1230, WTVC.
Your flagship home of Alabama sports.
Let's see. Was there something you guys wanted to see on that tape again? Jake, did you mention that? You meant the strip sack? Is that what you wanted to see? If we get Quay playing well again, him and Yonze can ruin offense day. Oh, yeah, man. Like, listen, when you got to prepare for two guys off the edge, man, I mean, it can completely alter an offense's game plan, right? You got one guy you're worried about. All right, put the back on that side, put a chip on that side. But you see what we've had to do, right, to help both of our tackles out. We now will have our tight end right in the C area to be a chip over there on one side, and on the other, we're instead of having the back in the typical gun spot, he's now in the other C area, right? That way he can provide a chip. For maybe not necessarily, but still, I mean, it's causing these core to do that. Ty's fumble, but I was saying in the game, I don't want to see his strip sack. Oh, okay, I got you. But you wanted to see that clip though. Let's see. I can play that. Hold on. Let's see. Let's go back to it. Great play by Cuevas on that one. I was trying to see this protection here. You see what I'm saying? This is what I'm talking about. We saw this a lot against Oklahoma. So this is why I always try to explain. This is the only reason I say, like, again, and I give the offensive line credit. Like, they've been playing a lot better. But you can't rule out that they're getting a lot more help this year than they did in the past couple years. Right? Two things can be true. That's why I always just point this out, because you see this. And you don't see many teams doing this formation, but we do that because we know, look, Proctor is much improved, but he's still a little bit of liability on the edge, right? I mean, you'd be a fool to say that he's not. And then you got Carroll, a young guy. Just help these guys out, right? Because you still can do what you want to do with it. These guys still can release. He doesn't necessarily do a chip right here. He's just getting out there. But even his presence, look at the path of this defensive end. His presence alone altered the path of the defensive end, right? You see up here, Jam actually is providing that chip. But this is like this type of stuff that Oklahoma, like, look, they only end up bringing, I think it ends up being 4, but you see what I'm saying? What's crazy is they still get so much pressure without even having to bring that many guys. Then when they drop the rest of the guys, it's all simulated stuff, right? Still just rushing 4, but since everybody's attention is all in different places with all the guys crowding the line of scrimmage, when they drop back, it makes it tough on a quarterback. And that was the exact key that I was talking about going into this game, and this is exactly what we saw. Just guys dropping underneath, taking away some stuff. Now you see here getting quick, straight flat route, getting out there. They had a guy there miss a tackle, but still great effort by Cuevas. Great throw and catch right here by Ty to Horton, dropping it right over his shoulder, man. Great execution, great throw, great catch, good protection. That's what you want. I think we got a run play here. Let's see. Let's see what happens. Go to the end zone. This is what I'm talking about by finishing, right? So you got Jam in here. People are going immediately just because they're a little frustrated with him right now. Oh, man, what's he doing? This is on the offensive line. Parker Brailsford, which this guy's a damn good player. I mean, it's going to happen. Sheds the shit out of him, tosses him out of the way, and I mean, he's there to make the play, make the tackle right there. Right? Like initially, you look at it, right? Everybody's on their block. Great job by Formby, man. Great job. Turn this guy out like that, right? Want to get better hand placement, but great job doing his job. That's what you want. But we got to finish. This is what I mean by finishing blocks. See that? Boom, violent shed. Great play by the defensive tackle right there. And welcome back into this Friday edition of the Miller's Edge. Tide 100.9, 1230. WTBC presented by the Good Feet Store, America's Arch Support Experts. All right, we talked a little bit about Eastern Illinois, right? We can check that box. Not too in-depth, but I think that's fair. Talked a little bit about the whole coaching rumor swirl, right? Everything going on. We've already said we don't see any of that happening. Maybe Jamarcus Shepard or another coach taking a position, but as of right now, I think everything's focused. Everybody's focused on being successful this season, right? Everybody I've talked to, that's their thing. I mean, another thing I was going to mention too, that there's no like signs of people having their head down from the Oklahoma loss. I mean, everybody in that building is still very confident, right? They know that those turnovers ultimately decided the outcome of that game, and they know that that's something that they can control, and if they control that in that game or moving forward, they have the success that they're out to get. So I'm excited to see how the guys respond this weekend. I saw Ricky say in the comments earlier, man, he feels bad for these guys because they're about to catch an ass whooping that they didn't necessarily ask for, given that our guys are probably going to be playing pretty ticked off. But hey, that's part of it, man. When you get paid to come to Tuscaloosa and you're a team like that, I mean, don't expect it to be a cakewalk. I mean, it's a cupcake game, but definitely not going to be a cakewalk. Reed, let me ask you this, man, because I know a lot of speculation that Alabama drops to Oklahoma. And I know I talked with Chase about it. I don't think I've gotten to talk to you about it. Alabama is in a position now. We've seen the playoff rankings and everything. We're at number 10, still very much in the hunt. We all know this, right? You win out, everything's still in front of you. You win out, you're in the SEC championship game. I know we were looking at all these scenarios about these three-way ties. if you went out, from my understanding, out like I can't remember what the only addendum was, but you went out and you're in the SEC championship. You went out, you plan on beating the playoffs. Let me ask you this, because I don't think I got your opinion on this. Are there any concerns on your end if Alabama does make it to the SEC championship game but loses? Are there concerns on your end that Alabama does not make the college football playoffs, as they would be 10-3 at that point?
I think it comes down to the outcome of the game, really. Like if it's close, I think they'll keep us in. They'll probably put us at the lowest seed they possibly can. I don't think a G5 would. There's really no G5 that's that dominant right now. It's Tulane at the 24 spot, and we wouldn't drop that low. So we'd probably get the 11 seed. But if it's like, I'm just throwing out random numbers here, okay? But if it's like 49-10, I think that they leave us out then. But if we keep it pretty decently, relatively close, which I think we will, I even with a loss, it feels so hard to comprehend of them leaving out the SEC runner-up.
I said a very similar thing to you. I was saying that I think it depends on the result, like how the game goes, and then also maybe the rest of the field of competition, right? Like other teams have to play each other. You kind of got to see how those outcomes turn out. So I think it probably depends on that a little bit too. But here's my thing, man. I think the committee's just going to get, if something like that did happen, I think we're getting to a point where I wouldn't be shocked at the SEC at some point and says, man, to hell with this stuff, and then tries to come up with something, right? And I don't know what that something would be, but I wouldn't be shocked if, I don't know, I feel like they've already kind of thrown stuff out there, right? SEC and the Big Ten, almost as if like, not necessarily saying we're bigger than the NCAA, but if they need to be, I don't think they would be afraid to, I don't know, look elsewhere. And I think that would probably bother a lot of people. And I'm just going to use the word bother here. I mean, because you look back and a lot of people compare the situation last year where you had SMU, they lose to Clemson. But at that point, SMU was a one-loss team. That Clemson loss gave them 2. This year, Alabama's going into it as a 2-loss team, and that would give them 3 losses. And just basing off of the way they acted and their explanations for their ranking of Alabama at number 10 and the losses and all that stuff, I think if we lost that game by 10 plus, I think there's a chance we don't make it in there. And that's not to sound like a Debbie Downer. It's just unfortunately hearing the committee and how they think. That's just kind of what I feel like could be the case, but I hope not, though. Hopefully everything works out well and we take care of business. But if we did get matched up with Texas A&M in the SEC championship game, I do think that's going to be one hell of a game. That matchup, I'm not going to lie to you guys, knowing that they have Marcel Reed and with his dual threat ability, really good defense. They're one of these teams that I talk about being really balanced with a really good defense, but also an offense that complements it, that can put points up. That would definitely give me some concerns, right? It's going to be completely transparent. But I think it'd be one hell of a game. Just think it would be quite the challenge with how we would match up against them. So we'll cross that bridge when we get there, but definitely be looking forward to it. 205-342-9904 is the number. We got Pat up next. Pat, welcome in. Check. Pat, are you with us? Going once, twice. Pat, you there? Reed, you can if you want to check to see if he's still there. I mean, I feel like he just called because I just got your notification. But
yeah, I think he'll give us a call back here soon.
All right, that's fine. That's interesting. Maybe he accidentally hung up or something. I don't know. That's interesting. Anyway, let's see what we got here in the comments. Jake says there's a lot of money in those conference games. The committee leaves a team out for playing an extra game. They just took a blow torch to the conference championship games. 100%. And that's why I feel like they're just, you can't, man. They need to come up with some true, I guess, definition or criteria about the conference games. I don't think right now I think it's a little bit like gray. They probably need to come up with something that legit explains the criteria about the conference. Like basically saying conference championship games, will not have an effect. Or maybe they need to come up with the final rankings before the conference championship games. Either one of the two. I mean, to me, I think that's probably the better answer. I mean, I understand they want to keep getting their, I don't know, their what do you call it? Like they're doing their process and grading and processing these teams, whatever you want to label it. But personally, I think it would almost be better because it would eliminate the need for this conversation just to go ahead and have the rankings done before the conference championship games, or make a note or establish some type of criteria that there will be no effect with the outcome of the championship game. That's my opinion. I think that could be helpful here to eliminate a lot of this whole, what if type deal. But Dwight is right. We're at 10 now, but the cutoff line kind of is about that 10 area because you got the ACC champions that will get a bid automatically just because they won their conference. Then you also have like the group of 4 or group of 5, whatever it's called now. Like, for example, like I forgot, like I think they're like 24 right now, right? They technically get a spot. To me, I don't even that might need to be looked at going forward at some point as well. 205-342-9904. We got Pat back on the line. Pat, welcome in.
Hey man, you cannot trust these people. They have an agenda, and they with a crap with Notre Dame. There's no way you can trust them. Number one, you're absolutely correct. They should seat these teams before the championship games and go on and call it a day. Because or it should be, the criteria is real simple. Hey, the top 8, which is what's up by top 8, that's your Power 4 conference championships, each are in regardless of outcome of the game. At all eight, because those are the best 8 in the country per the way they played on the field. Yes or no? Don't you agree?
Yeah, I agree. But now, wait, real quick. Now that you say that, I guess technically you couldn't have it fully established because you're right. The conference champions, they get those berths. So I mean, technically, I guess unless you just left the spot open, maybe.
Your conference champions get the place, but the runner up in each conference should go. I mean, good Lord, the runner up went to the Sugar Bowl 9 times out of 10, or the winner went to the Sugar Bowl in the SEC championship, and so you go. I mean, you got to do something like that, because just like this deal like this. I'm not scared of Texas A&M, but Texas A&M Alabama is going to be a barn burner.
Yeah.
I mean, if we play Texas A&M in the championship game, and I still can't figure out why Ole Miss is left out. Ole Miss could very well be 11-1, sitting there waiting to play in the championship game. Waiting to go to the playoffs for the first time ever at 11-1. I mean, go figure.
Well, I think they they're very much in the playoff. What it is the SEC championship game. It's so confusing now that we don't have the East and West anymore. But from my understanding, it doesn't just go to like the tiebreaker being a head-to-head, which I think would make the most sense, which we would automatically probably win that battle since we beat Georgia and Georgia beat Ole Miss. I think it goes to like strength of opponents or something like that, which we still would end up taking the lead. So I think that's why not many people are anticipating Ole Miss having a chance at making the conference game, because that would require A&M to lose, maybe Georgia to lose to Georgia Tech. I can't remember exactly what it was.
Yeah. A whole bunch of stuff's got to happen. But again, that's the thing. It doesn't go in by wins and losses. Wins and losses, Ole Miss is in. I mean, if you went that route. I mean, but again, next year we play 9 games. It'll be a little less foggy, maybe. But again, you cannot trust Notre Dame. And Notre Dame does not have to play. That's how I would justify 8 teams out of the 4 conference championships. 8 teams are in because Notre Dame does not play another game. It is bull crap.
Yeah, and real quick,
camel doom, whatever you want to call it.
Well, I was going to say, real quick, I want to mention this. Then Wyatt has a quick answer for us on one of the things we brought up. But like you mentioned, since the conference champions get those spots, so technically, I think the better solution would be you wait, I guess, until after the conference championship games are played, because you'd have to see those to know who's the winner and gets that spot. But then just make a note that if you lose your conference championship game, that game will not be graded. It should only be based off of what happens in the regular season. So the rankings would come out after, but the grading would be halted, I guess, before the conference championship games and I guess conclude at the end of the regular season. Why? What you got for us?
Yeah, for this SEC championship scenario, Ole Miss is out if Alabama wins the Iron Bowl. 11-1, they're out of the SEC championship if Alabama wins the Iron Bowl. Where it starts to get weird, you need Texas to beat Texas A&M, and then you need Auburn to beat Alabama. If both of those things happen, it's Georgia, Ole Miss. If only one of those things happens, you're looking at if Alabama loses, obviously it's Georgia and somebody else. But if Alabama wins the Iron Bowl, regardless of any other matchup here, assuming Vanderbilt beats Kentucky this weekend, Alabama's in the SEC championship against either Georgia or Texas A&M.
Got it. Yeah, that's what I thought. So I wanted to make sure. So regardless, Alabama's in. It's just a matter of if Texas A&M wins or loses / Georgia, then they got to figure out that side. But we are secured as long as we win out, which means we control our own destiny, at least in that perspective. Now, after that, for the playoffs, it's a little bit it gets a little murky there because the committee is already established. They've got some high expectations. Pat, you got anything else for us before we let you go?
Yeah, no, sir. That we win this game tomorrow, 63-0. And but I want to go. I got one question for you. Over and under. Russell has 3 touchdowns. Over or under.
Keelan Russell.
Yeah, running or passing. I'm going both ways.
I'm going to say under only because I feel like they're going to give Austin Mack plenty of opportunities. If you didn't have Austin Mack in the picture, then I definitely probably would go over. But I just think, trying to get both of those quarterbacks plenty of opportunities, it's going to cut into what he can do. And I just don't know if he'll have enough time, especially if you're talking about late in the game. I don't see them dialing up plays like long passing plays or potential, scoring opportunities without running up the score, so to speak.
Okay. All right. Hey, have a blessed Thanksgiving. Hopefully we can talk to you next week in the Iron Bowl week. Have a great one. Bye-bye.
Absolutely. You too. Good deal. All right, we're going to take our last time out. When we come back, we'll be back for 2-3 minutes, get our final thoughts out. And if anybody wants to drop the score prediction, you got a few minutes to do so. And we'll hit those when we come back right here on the Miller's Edge, Tide 100.9, 1230, WCBC. $62, 6, 56-6. Man, I need to go. I don't have my score prediction all the way done yet. Let me get back to that. Well, I was going to show this real quick. Remember, I was talking about Proctor still kind of being a little bit of liability on the edge. See what I'm saying? Like, that's what I'm talking about here, right? And what's crazy is initially he's in a good position, right? He's in a good position. But when the battle when they re-engage, right? Dude hits a nice dip on him, right? Proctor's still playing up top, right? So like the first battle, right? Because pass rush is like constantly going. This is what I think. This is what we need to get better at, right? When I talk about finishing, not just in our run blocks, but even this. Like I think guys almost like, all right, boom, I got him. But you don't really have them until you fully have them. Until you get what I'm saying, like this, right? Granted, it doesn't really have a huge effect. We take what the defense gives us. We hit Daniel Hill real quick out of the backfield. Cool. But let's just say we had something developing downfield. We don't even have a chance anymore. We have no choice but to hit this now because we don't finish right here. So it's little stuff, man. Just got to keep cleaning that up. Got to run and play here. Let's see. Let's diagnose it. All right. Well, see, Wilkins not getting great push. So already we see the levels that we have right here, right? Now, granted, you got 2 big-ass dudes on a combo block initially. I saw that, right? Yeah, right. You got a little bit of a combo going on. Parker should stick on here. Let's see what happens here. So here we go. So if they're comboing here, somebody needs to climb to the next level, which that's not going to happen. This guy's already flowing, right? Which, I mean, he's doing a good job reading. We need more push here because now, I mean, we don't even have much room to even work because we're getting almost knocked back into the back, right? You see what I'm saying? We're almost tripping on his feet because he's getting knocked 2 yards in the backfield. Not really anywhere to go, right? So if anybody says it's 100% on the backs, not 100% on the backs, right? I mean, I'd argue there's not. I mean, where is Daniel Hill really supposed to go here? Unless you say, oh, he should bounce way wide. But, I mean, this guy's got a good edge right here for the most part. This one, you just got to live to see another day. All right? It is what it is. I mean, the backers are just doing a good job flowing. They're playing aggressive. But nobody's able to climb up. And I almost would argue, I mean, maybe initially the initial call on that, the way we blocked it, maybe could have been different. Pretty solid pocket here. Another run play. Let's see what happens. Outside zone. All right, boom. I'm not going to lie to you. I don't know why he ended up cutting that right here. If I'm Jam, to me, this is probably bad vision, right? I think we can sum this up. Blocking wise, doing a pretty solid job, right? Want some more push here by Brailsford, but he's at least got his guy covered. To me, especially with Bernard washing this guy down, you should just stay off Bernard's ass right here. I mean, look at this seam we got opening up. Instead, we try to press it back in, then back out. I'm not going to lie to you. This, to me, is on Jam probably not trusting his guys. You just got to hit that. Run his outside zone right there.
100.9.
I know you look for cutbacks, but right there, man, you got the edge. And welcome back into this free-for-all Friday edition of the Miller's Edge. Tide 100.9, 1230 WTBC, presented by the Good Feet Store, America's Arts Support Experts. All right, so we've talked about a number of things today. We're winding down on time. We only got about 2 minutes or so left, more or less. Guess it's time for me and Reed, and we can let Wyatt, since he's already on the mic there, give his score prediction for this game. We're not going to waste our time on keys because, I mean, the keys is just go out there and whip somebody's ass, which these guys don't have the Jimmies and Joes to stand a chance. But for my score prediction, let's see. I try to take into consideration what I was talking with Pat about. Like, when you get down to the end of the game, like, we're going to run the ball a whole bunch. So probably not going to be as many points up there. Or who knows? Maybe Coach DeBoer is like, nah, these guys got to feel our wrath. I'm going to go 7 times 8 touchdowns is 56. 1 field goal. I'm going to go 59. I don't even know if I want to throw a field goal in there, but let's just say 1. Hopefully he gets 1 opportunity. We'll say 59. I'm going to go 59-3. I'm going to go 59-3 in this game. Reed, Wyatt, what you guys got?
So I'll go ahead and start first, and I've got Chase with me here. I actually was considering going with that same score, but I'm like, you know what? This Bama team's fired up. They're gonna go 59-0. They're gonna shut them out. So Chase, what do you got?
I got 66-6. Yeah, it's gonna be a butt whooping.
Dang, a lot of sixes over there, Chase. Uh-oh. No, I'm just playing.
Chase, you throwing out multiple sixes there. Be careful, buddy.
Yeah, I know that's a little weird of a number, Chase. You got me a little nervous, but no, I'll just play it. What do you got, Wyatt?
Apparently you need style points, so I expect Alabama to pour it on here in this game. I'll take a page out of Reagan's book, 69-0 here for Alabama. I love all the players on this team. I love getting to cover this team. I have no confidence in Connor Tulty, and I hate to say that.
You know, I was going to say, part of me, I want to erase that 3. Well, this is the other side of things. Because I gave 59. I gave him at least 1 field goal opportunity. Because I'm thinking, like, maybe when the reserves are in, maybe we have a drive stall on, like, the 20-something or whatever. He knocks one.
Maybe he doesn't even miss. Maybe he doesn't miss the extra point, to make it an even 70. Maybe he kicks 2 field goals, and then we're sitting in the same spot.
Well, that's true. Dwight says Bama put 70 on ULM, and ULM's better. And I agree with that. But yeah, 59. I'm probably selling it short. Who cares? I'm not changing it. I'm gonna go 59, and I'm gonna give Eastern Illinois that 3 just because late in the game maybe the reserves might give up a little bit somewhere, and they end up getting. I don't know. So I'm going 59-3. But all right, that does it for us on this free for all Friday. Reed, I think he's got all those predictions written down. Hopefully somebody hits it. Haven't had somebody yet, but hopefully this is the weekend. Hope you guys have a great weekend. You got Wyatt coming up next. He's already in studio ready to roll, so he'll take over from here. Big thanks to Reed and Chase behind the glass. Big thanks to all our listeners, Tide 100.9, YouTube, Facebook, all that good stuff. Look forward to doing it again on Monday right here on the Miller's Edge, presented by the Good Feet Store, America's Art Sport Experts. We'll see you guys then.